People don't value you because you ask for respect. They value you because of how you position yourself psychologically. And here's the uncomfortable truth most people never hear. The more you try to be liked, the less you're valued. Value isn't created by approval. It's created by perception. What I'm about to break down isn't manipulation, it's awareness. Because once you understand how the human mind assigns value, you stop chasing validation and people start adjusting their behavior around you. Let's start with the first psychological shift that quietly changes how people treat you. 1. Stop over-explaining yourself. This is one of the fastest ways to lower your perceived value, and most people do it without realizing. When you over-explain, you're subconsciously saying, "I need you to agree with me so I can feel secure." High-value individuals don't do that. They state, they pause, they allow silence. Think about it. When someone gives a short, calm explanation and then stops talking, your brain fills in the gap with authority. But when someone keeps talking, keeps justifying, keeps defending, your brain reads uncertainty. Here's the psychological reason this works. The human mind associates certainty with value, not loudness, not dominance, certainty. So next time you make a decision, share an opinion, or set a boundary, say what you need to say and stop. No extra sentences, no nervous laughter, no "I hope that's okay." And notice what happens. People either respect it or reveal that they never intended to. Quick reminder. If this kind of psychological awareness is helping you already, stay connected to this channel, not because you need motivation, but because understanding human behavior changes how you move in every relationship. Now let's go deeper. 2. Reduce your availability without becoming cold. This is where most people get it wrong. They hear "be less available" and turn distant, rude, or fake. That's not power, that's reaction. The real shift is internal. When someone knows you're always available, always replying instantly, always adjusting your schedule, always waiting, your value drops silently. Not because you're kind, but because your time appears unlimited. Psychologically, humans value what feels scarce and intentional. So instead of saying yes immediately, you pause. Instead of rearranging your entire day, you say, "Let me check and get back to you." No attitude, no explanation. This creates a subtle but powerful message. My life is full and you're invited into it, not centered in it. And here's the key detail most people miss. You don't need to act busy, you need to be engaged with your own life. When people feel they have to earn access to your time, they treat it with more respect. Now we're getting into territory that changes dynamics fast. 3. Stop giving more energy than you receive. This one hurts a little, but it's necessary. In every interaction, there's an invisible balance of energy. Who texts more? Who initiates more? Who invests emotionally more? When you consistently give more than you receive, your value drops, even if your intentions are pure. Why? Because the human brain associates effort imbalance with hierarchy. The person giving more is subconsciously perceived as lower value, not less important as a human, but less rare. So the shift isn't to withdraw completely, it's to match energy, not exceed it. If they reply briefly, you reply briefly. If they initiate, you respond warmly, not excessively. If they pull back, you don't chase. This isn't a game, it's emotional self-respect. And when you practice this, something interesting happens. People either rise to meet your energy or fade out. Both outcomes protect your value. We're only halfway in, and the next 2 shifts are the ones that quietly change how people feel around you, even when you're not speaking. 4. Become emotionally predictable, not emotionally available. This sounds backwards, so pay close attention. Most people think being valued comes from being emotionally open, expressive, and always responsive. In reality, emotional predictability creates safety, and safety creates respect. Here's what lowers value fast: emotional volatility. When people don't know how you'll react, If you'll get defensive, overly excited, insecure, or needy, they subconsciously lower their guard against you, not for you. High-value individuals are emotionally steady, not cold, not distant, just regulated. You don't overshare. You don't emotionally dump. You don't seek reassurance through reactions. Instead, your emotional state stays consistent regardless of external behavior. Psychologically, this sends a powerful signal. This person is self-contained, and self-contained people are respected because they don't need others to regulate them. Here's a simple example. Someone says something dismissive. Low-value response, explaining, defending, reacting emotionally. High-value response, calm acknowledgement or silence. No drama, no proving. People start adjusting how they speak to you because they realize emotional manipulation doesn't work. And here's where it gets interesting. The calmer you are, the more people project value onto you. If you're finding this helpful so far, stay connected to this channel, not for motivation, but because mastering emotional control is a lifelong advantage most people never learn. Now let's move into the final psychological shift, the one that locks in value long-term. 5. Remove the fear of losing people. This is the deepest one, and it's the hardest. People can feel when you're afraid to lose them. You don't need to say it, your behavior leaks it. You compromise too quickly. You tolerate disrespect. You stay quiet to keep the peace. The moment someone senses this fear, your value drops, not because you're weak, but because power has shifted. Here's the truth. Value rises the moment you become willing to walk away peacefully, not angrily, not dramatically, silently. When people know you can lose them without losing yourself, they treat you differently. Boundaries stop being tested. Respect becomes automatic. This doesn't mean you cut people off easily. It means you stop negotiating your self-worth. And here's the paradox. When you remove the fear of loss, you actually lose fewer people, because the ones who stay do so by choice, not control. We're at the point where everything ties together. Your silence, your boundaries, your emotional regulation, your time. There's one final layer that connects all 5 psychological shifts into a single identity, and it changes how people treat you even when you're not present. The identity shift that makes all 5 tricks permanent. Everything you've heard so far only works if it becomes who you are, not what you do. The mistake most people make is using psychological tricks instead of embodying psychological value. High-value people don't ask, how do I make them respect me? They ask, how do I live so my presence naturally commands respect? Here's the core identity shift. You stop seeking validation and start living from self-approval. The moment this happens, everything changes. You speak slower. You choose your words carefully. You don't rush to explain yourself. You don't chase reactions. People begin leaning in, not because you're trying to impress them, but because your energy doesn't beg for acceptance. Psychologically, humans value what appears internally complete. If you don't need attention, your attention becomes valuable. If you don't chase approval, your approval feels earned. If you don't fear being replaced, you become irreplaceable. And here's the part most people miss. You don't have to announce boundaries. You don't have to demand respect. You don't have to prove confidence. Your behavior quietly teaches people how to treat you. This is why value isn't loud, it's consistent. Once you adopt this identity, you'll notice something subtle. People explain themselves more around you. They hesitate before crossing lines. They seek your opinion even when you don't offer it. Not because you asked for power, but because you stopped giving it away. If you've stayed till the end, you're already ahead of most people. And if you want to keep sharpening this mindset, learning how attraction, respect, and influence actually work beneath the surface, stay connected here, not for hype, for understanding. Because once you understand human psychology, you stop reacting to life and start controlling your position within it.